Hey guys, Dr. Ducey here, MTFUcoach.com, talking about bicep work tonight, but not in the way you think. I'm going to talk about getting around injuries or pain when you're talking about the wrist, the elbow, and the shoulder. If you know my history at all, you'll know I've had 15 surgeries on the right wrist, 3 on the left, 1 on the left elbow, and 2 open total repairs of the rotator cuff in my shoulders, 2 times each. Everything's repaired. I've got some biomechanical insufficiency, some pain, but right now I've got torn labrums in each shoulder, mild on one side, moderate on the other. Am I going to have surgery? Absolutely not. You only have surgery if it's absolutely necessary. But let's talk about, we'll start with my left wrist, okay? If you look at the wrist, you've got bones that lead up from the forearm into the wrist. You've got the ulna and you've got the radius. The radius is a little bit longer than the ulna, and because of that there's a disc right here on the end of the ulna to make these guys feel like they're even. They're really not. If you ever curl with a straight bar, and this ties into the bone lengths, when you curl with a straight bar, it's all good and fine. You go a little heavier, you may feel a little bit of incongruency, because what does the wrist want to do? It wants to turn like this, and a straight bar doesn't let you do that. I mean, you'll see those old films of Arnold curling really heavy. You get a lot of injuries. How do we compensate for that? We use a easy curl bar. I don't have one here yet, but I'll show you what I do with dumbbells. We want to, what does the wrist want to do? It wants to turn it a little. So I start with my dumbbells just like this, turned in. Okay, so we're compensating for that ulna shortening, all right? And we curl up, and we curl down, and we avoid that incongruency. And of course at the top we'll supinate a little because the biceps like that. And again, this way I bypass that potential pain in the wrist, and all the effort's felt in the bicep. And as we said, whenever you exert yourself on any exercise, you want to feel it in that body part. Okay, going to the elbow. We've got something called medial epicondylitis, extreme pain on the inside of the elbow. When this happens sometimes when you're curling, it's because of an inherent weakness in the bicep. And when that happens, what do? You take the dumbbell, and maybe you're favoring the forearm too much. I mean, you're flexing the forearm, and you're using a lot of the flexors in the forearm, and you're hitting the bicep, but you're also hitting the forearm too much. So listen, I've talked about something called a waiter's grip. You know, a waiter carries a tray like that. So what have you seen me do? You've seen me drag. It's kind of like a drag with the fingers down. Look, I'm totally bypassing the forearm muscles. It's all bicep. Okay, so you're taking that pain away from the elbow. Yeah, hey, I'm feeling it all in the bicep. And if you really want to feel it pop in the bicep, try this grip. Finally, shoulder. What does the shoulder have to do with bicep? Plenty. You've got the bicep tendon, runs up, attaches to the anterior deltoid, goes through the bicipital groove with a transverse humeral ligament going over that, attaches up here. All right, well, you've got this long bicep tendon. Well, one of the favorite exercises to do, one of the best for the bicep, is an incline. I'm using a makeshift incline. This I got from among my first workouts. This bench is from when I was 15 years old. I just acquired it. You can tell from the 1970s upholstery. Okay, but you're leaning back, okay, and you're stretching the arm and back of you. Well, that's all good and fine. It's great for the bicep, but if you have a problem with bicep tendon, look where it's starting. It's starting all stretched out. Don't want to do that. A good alternative, well, first I'll show you a concentration curl, because the arm is in front of you, so it's less stress on that bicep tendon, and you'll see that pop right there, okay? The bicep tendon is much shorter than if the arm was in back of you. Or you can do a preacher curl, which is equally good, okay, because the arm is in front of you, and this helps stabilize. Okay, so if you're thinking about cheating, it's a lot harder to do on here. So again, it's all about shortening that bicep tendon. And guys and ladies, like I always tell you, I always flex the muscle at the end of a set. You know, like Evan says, if people could learn how to flex with weight in their hands, fantastic development that way. Dr. Mike Ducey, your thoughts, questions, considerations, and statements written down below. even a thumbs up if you think I warrant it. They are my oxygen. Please help me breathe. You have a great night.